Welcome back to another episode of Bloodborne. We are right where we left off. We're about to continue back down into Old Yarnum. There's an item over here. The goal of this episode is to beat the boss and get the blood gem that's going to let us actually start using a weapon that's good. So these enemies are afraid of the fire. These are the one enemies I mentioned in an earlier episode where if you have the torch out, they kind of shy away from you sometimes. Not all the time, clearly. Like, there he is. I believe they patched it. It used to be that these things never attacked you because they were so afraid of the fire, but I think they did an update where they attack. They used to not attack. Let's see. Ooh. And they're also very hard to see sometimes. There's our trick attack. You'll notice I haven't been using the trick attack a lot, mostly because a lot of these enemies go down in 2 or 3 hits anyway, so you don't have to do anything super fancy. Later on, when enemies start to become more of a burden, you're going to want to start getting swiftier with your tricking and your dodging. That's why I'm getting hit more than I should, too. We want to collect a lot of the bone shards, because after we get this weapon turned into arcane, we will come across another just solid weapon that builds into arcane without needing the blood gem for it, which is great. Ooh. So this hunter who's talking to us, his backstory is he's a hunter, and he belongs to a group of hunters called the Powder Keggers. He's up there. You can actually see him. That's a minigun he's standing behind. He's with a group called the Powder Keggers. And the weapons that they use are all pneumatic to an extent, so they like to use the one weapon that's kind of defines them is the what's it called? The stake driver. And the stake driver is basically, it's somewhat like an arm guard, but at the end of it there's a pike that's in a machine, and you can just stab with it, and then its trick is it just explodes and shoots out its pike at like 3 feet. So you'll notice this one's much larger. This is what the statues were depicting, possibly before they turned into this, because they did look a little more humanoid, but that is in fact what the artistry was aiming for, was this beast. Come over here, douchebag. You want to not be out in the open here like I am, because the gun, that'll tear you apart. We're doing okay so far. These pots also explode too. Oh, I'm very lucky that didn't kill me. I thought I was out of the range, but I didn't catch the full explosion, which is great. Crows might kill me, though. Alright, we're safe for now. Got some of our HP back there, which is good. This next part's kind of tricky because right when you step out of those doors, he can fire at you. And there we pick up a blood-tinged gemstone, which I've always found to be utterly useless. We're gonna run over here and then run back to piss off all these monsters. They make like they're going to attack, and it really fucks me up. The dodge a strike attack with this is actually decently good because it's quick. It's got a large range on it. Oh shit, there's more than I thought. I'm gonna actually put this away because them not being fully afraid of the torch is messing me up. Alright, that should be most of them, if not all of them. This area is just littered with them. Oh, there's another one. We're gonna run over here, though, and try to pick this up real quick. And then run away again. See, the trip here is, if you don't know about this area before you run into it, it's like a death sentence, because you run into, what was there, like 8 of these monsters? Kind of unseen, just sitting there. And this guy you can pretty much ignore. So he is on the building to the directly front of us. Now here we find our first enemy hunter. And these guys can be really hard. You'll notice they have a shitstorm of HP. They don't run out of bullets. They're really hard to parry. Come here. I think the best way to deal with this guy is literally attack him to death. Ooh. See, he has the saw spear as a weapon. And he just jumped into the fire. And he can heal too. So these are just super annoying fights. This guy actually has a really bad tethering. He doesn't actually fully come down these stairs. And I'm afraid to go out here, by the way, and face him because the guy up there is still on the machine gun. See, he tethers all the way back. Very annoying. Maya's just broken it. Yeah, see, now he's just gonna flee. He doesn't even give 1,000 souls either. It's not really worth it. He dropped bone marrow ash. We'll read that item description in a second. But for now, we want to get over here. This is a secret area down here. We can get another weapon by coming down here. We're not going to use it, but it is the rifle spear. Very, very good weapon. Let's walk right on by. I want to pick these off quickly too. There's a lot that come down here. They kind of try to overwhelm you if you're not quick. See, there's 3 more. Ooh, the backstep is actually pretty good too with this. Ooh, that reach though. Yeah, they drop tempering blood gemstones. See, you'll notice we've been picking up a lot of blood gemstones. This is where they start throwing them at you because this is where you should start upgrading weapons, even multiple weapons if you're pretty indecisive on what you actually want. And we get a tempering blood gemstone. Tempering means it's a physical. It'll either boost just straight up physical damage. When it's the boosts a specific skill, it'll tell you. This is the rifle spear here. Let's actually read The throwing knife. Throwing knife with a finely serrated blade. Serrated, so it kills beasts. One of the old hunters, Henrik's favorite weapons. Does not cause a great deal of damage, but with deft use can distract attackers and keep them at bay, so it's like a minute stun. Fire paper. Coarse paper that applies fire to weapons when rubbed. A hunter's tool found in the Healing Church workshop. Since the tragedy that struck old Yarnum, fire has become a staple of beast hunts and is thought to cleanse impurity. Certain types of beasts have an abnormal fear of flame. They actually all have an abnormal fear of flame. Bone marrow ash. Additional medium that strengthens your bullets, and when you use this, your next bullet does more damage. According to the workshop, this is a special bone marrow ash collected from Hemwick Charnel Lane, invaluable to hunters with weak blood tinge who require the use of stronger firearms. Actually, you want to have a blood tinge build to use those. I do not know why you wouldn't. What else did we pick up? Bloodstained bell that discovered in a labyrinth, one of the resonating bells that cross the gaps of worlds, but this one knells with misfortune and malice. The sinister bell is an object of dark thoughts. Ring it to become the enemy of a hunter in another world. We did get the Udin key. We got this from killing Gascoigne. Key to the gate that blocks the tomb of Udin. This basically just led us into the cathedral ward. Beyond the tomb, Udin Chapel can be found in the center of the cathedral ward. Only today the church is abandoned, and some say that the residents of Udin have all gone mad. And we picked up the Blood Gem Workshop tool. This allows us to put blood gems inside of our weapons. A misplaced workshop tool from the hunter's dream. The hunter who retrieves this can fortify weapons by kneading blood gems into them. Blood gems add properties to weapons when used to fortify them, as blood defines an organism. Note, it said misplaced workshop tool from the hunter's dream. That proves that the hunter's dream is a physical location capable of creating material, because this was found in the real world. And the flame sprayer we picked up. Special weapon used only by certain members of the Healing Church. Spits searing flames by using blood-imbued Quicksilver bullets as a special medium. Not the most efficient weapon by any stretch, but sometimes a sea of flame is just what the doctor ordered. Besides, the beasts of Yarnums can always use a good cleansing. So this is basically a flamethrower. We looked at all those. These all have the same description. A blood gem. See, this one says circular, this one says radial. A blood gem that fortifies weapons add various properties. Blood gems are especially rare bloodstones that grow on cold blood. Blood gems are kneaded into weapons using workshop tools, but only when of the matching shape. Oh, we did pick up the rifle spear too, didn't we? Yeah. A trick weapon crafted by the workshop heretics, the powder kegs. Prototype weapons serving as a simple firearm and spear, possibly created in imitation of the lost Canehurst weapon. Lacks any notable functions, saving that it is the only trick weapon with an attached gun. So basically when you trip the rifle spear, it shoots an instantaneous shot, and I think the bullets are a little more damaging than regular guns. The red moon hangs low, and the beasts rule the streets. Are we left no other choice than to burn it all to cinders? That's, I guess, somebody musing over how one would deal with the beast plague. We get the Charred Hunter set. We might put this on for a while. One of the staple articles of hunter attire fashioned in the workshop. A product of the scourge of beasts that once plagued old Yarnum and culminated in the town's fiery cleansing. The cape's dampness makes it highly resistant to fire. Wearers of this attire hunted down victims of the scourge who survived raging flames and the stench of tinged blood. This actually has a really high fire rating, which is good. One of the old staples, a product of the scourge, designed to be highly resistant to fire. Wearers of this attire hunted down victims of the scourge. So I believe that's the same. Yeah, so we're going to put this on for a while. It looks okay. I like the cape. We want to not be here, though, because I can get shot. I just remembered. Can I quickly grab this? Oh, that's not an item. And this, of course, just leads you back to this central square, so we can continue on from here. So that thing screams, this guy drops behind you, forewarning. I'll just miss again. Got him. can hear all the moaning too if you pay close attention. So there's someone harmless if you get a good run on them with a quick weapon. They just kind of sit there and let you hit them to death. Oh, not good. That's what's called an attack of opportunity. I was in the middle of an attack animation, so his attack did more damage to me. Very annoying. Trying to figure out which one of my attacks with this weapon is the ranged horizontal swipe. I know there is one. Shit. Have a Molotov. A lot of these enemies down here. A lot of them. And well, the reason that this is taking forever and these are doing so much damage is to me because I can't do this much damage back to them because my weapon is weak as hell. It's very frustrating. I'm not saying you should be OP by any means at this point, but not this weak. There are items up in the rafters, but only one of them is only a messenger hat, so it's really not worth going all the way back around to get them. You'll notice that there is a big beast in this room that's been strung up. So this was presumably a beast from either the last hunt or this hunt that was killed by the hunters here, but then they just went insane from maybe drinking the blood. For some reason drinking a fucking random animal's blood. I dislike these crows because, like most animals who don't have a weapon, when the animation starts for their attack sequence, their entire body becomes a hitbox. It's very annoying. It's cheap in a way. It's a good thing bosses, well, some bosses do act like that, where if you touch their pinky toe, you'll get launched backwards because it counted as a hit. It's very stupid. It doesn't look like we're gonna make it to this boss on time, but we're gonna get damn close. So this is a shortcut back to where I fought the first hunter. There's his bad tether staircase. It's an odd shortcut because you won't ever use it. You're not gonna use this to travel to the boss, because if you eventually come up to another shortcut that takes you directly back to the beginning of Old Yarnum. And that's an incredibly useful shortcut if you keep dying to the Blood-Starved Beast. The next boss is called the Blood-Starved Beast. What we want to do right now is run past all these enemies just to get to this guy. Because we want those Bloodstone shards, and that enemy would have disappeared, which is why we needed to rush that. Oh my god, stop! It's a really good parry on my part. Have an item over here. More pungent blood cocktails. There's only a few select spots where those are necessary to not die on. It's nice that those enemies, these big wolves, are doing that particular attack, because that attack has the largest parry window in their entire repertoire, so I don't I'm really glad that they just keep doing that to me. You can basically shoot him anytime during that animation. Here's another fuck you part of the game. You go over here to pick up this item. I got scared. Alright. Ooh, that was close. This one's being ornery. So this tower will lead us back up to the very, very starting area of Old Yarnum. We're very close to the boss at this point as well. I don't know why my camera unlocked there. That really fucked me over because I did a roll and I didn't want to. But as you can see, we have 26,000 blood echoes. We have more than enough blood echoes to buy the charm as well as level up our character, maybe upgrade this weapon to +3. We find some more fire paper there, so now we have a total of 5. You shouldn't need more than 1 or 2 to beat the boss if you're economical with their use. Let's see, we can go up here and go back to the dream, which we are going to do. Now that that shortcut is open, we have a pretty much a straight shot to the boss, and we want to get back to town and level up our shit just to not lose these souls in case we die. And I guess that's probably where I'll end the episode as well. It's been about 20 minutes. 30 minutes. You see, and these are the doors we came in. This is the lamp. See, interconnected worlds. It's a fantastic concept. Fantastic. Alright, we're here. First thing we want to do, just to get the big stuff out of the way, is go buy this Hunter's Chief emblem. A cloth emblem that belonged to the captain of the church hunters long ago. Opens the main gate that leads to the round plaza of the Great Cathedral. The main gate is shut tight on nights of the hunt and can only be opened from the outer side with this emblem. In other words, the captain's return and this emblem determined to end the hunt. So we want this. 10,000 souls down the drain. 10,000 echoes. I keep calling them souls. I don't know why. We're gonna go spend some more echoes, because you need to spend echoes to do this, to fortify our saw cleaver again. This is going to give us another about 9 attack power, 10 if you include the bonus, which we don't really pay attention to. We're going to see if any of these are better. They are not, but we now have a second slot for a blood gem. Now we have 2 blood gems in this weapon. It's very good. And finally, let's do a level. Or 3. Should be 3 or 4 levels I can get out of this. 1 endurance to 15, and then given that we're so close to the gem that we want, we're going to start pumping up our arcane like nuts. And you can see on the right, the blue is where the stat increases are, and you'll notice physical defense, poison resistance, rapid poison resistance. The physical defense will always go up every time you level up anything. The attack stats will go up depending on what weapon scales with those items and if you're holding it. And then item discovery is your chance to find an item, and stamina is of course your green HP bar, if you will. So that's good. And I guess that's where we're gonna call this episode. In the next episode, we are definitely gonna kill the Bloodstarved Beast. It's the next boss. He's basically right around the corner. Just don't want this one to go over time. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.